Hidden in the far north of Scotland lies the lonely Croft House Bothy. Rarely visited, often overlooked. Let's venture north and find out why.
Sand it.
What do you use it for yourself? I mean, you need to give it
Pretty strong centre, I feel very connected.
Maybe. You ready? You ready? Should we go? Come on then, let's go. Let's go. Well, that was a long drive, folks. I left Fife at 6:30 this morning. It's now just getting 1 o'clock. Got the first kilometre under our belts, but I was procrastinating the other night and I was going to get to the point I was going to do nothing and just sack it. And I just thought, I'll go a Bothy trip. I packed all my stuff. Wasn't sure exactly where I was going. Had a wee peruse of the Bothy book and I decided to head far north. And I decided to stick with that plan despite the long drive. I don't know why. I'm just actually off the NC 500, parked in a small village here called Strathy. And it's all, it must have been about 5 hours. But never mind, I'm here. And this Bothy that I'm going to is one of the least visited Bothies in Scotland, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like. Somehow doubt that. You ready? Go! Oh, that's a nasty one. Come on you. I really need to stop looking at the map because we've got ages to go. You just want to keep checking your progress. Anyways, on that note, I'm about halfway and we've been going about 1 hour and 20 minutes, so that's not too bad. If we got there in under 3 hours, I'd be happy with that. I've slowed down a little bit though because I feel like I've got a bit of a groin strain. Probably just a heavy pack. Look at this, folks. 3 wind turbine blades. They are huge. You don't quite get the perspective of how big they are when you see them built up. Hey you done? Let's stay your jacket. Check this, folks. It's the remains of an old building here, and the fireplace and the bit of the chimney is still intact. Wow, I never knew you could go inside the blades. The temptation to actually walk along one is very high, but knowing my luck there'll be a wee security camera somewhere and I'll get it tight in the comment section as well, no doubt. I am beginning to regret my choices for this trip. I should be in forestry by now, but as you can probably see, it's all been chopped down. In fact, I could recreate that scene from Michael Jackson's Earth Song video. I'm not going to, don't worry. But yeah, I just feel I've maybe picked the wrong route at the wrong time of year. You can come in from the west, which would have saved me a drive full around up to the coast and down a little bit, and that would have been 5 miles, but that would have been across open moorland. 5 miles a lot shorter, but in bog it can be treacherous, and with the dog as well. Well, maybe not treacherous, but you know what I mean. But I'm struggling a little bit, but we'll keep pushing on. Not far now. I'm hoping this bothy redeems itself. Tell you what folks, there is not a shortage of wood around here. You'd like to think the workers would take some down to the bothy, chop up neatly for us, or is that wishful thinking? Anyways, I've got about 1 kilometre to go and I can actually see the bothy now just through the trees there, so we're nearly there. I can't imagine I'm going to meet anybody tonight because I haven't seen a single soul today. There was no other cars parked either, so unless somebody's coming from the west, which is a shorter route, I might meet somebody, but I don't see any smoke coming out the chimney or any light or anything like that, so we'll see when we get there, but it's looking like we'll get the place to ourselves. And this is the first boggy bit we have hit. Now we're on the original track. Typical. Let's go over the other side. Let's try over here, Luna. Oops. I think this is better. What is it? It'd be typical to get wet feet so close to the bothy. Oh, you've got wet feet. A wee sting in the tail, folks. A river crossing. Typical. So there was a pallet there. I flung that in. That should help us get across. Right, loons, we need to get over this. This isn't the best, I'm missing my clothes now. That was a wee scunner, folks. I've got wet feet. Well, they're not as bad as a few weeks ago when I was out with Mushy. Just came in a little bit at the ankles there because I splashed. If I had my poles, it would have been fine. Aye, a wee sting in the tail. A wee sting in the tail. But the bothy, I don't know if you can see it in the camera there, just through the gap there. Definitely nobody there. Right, you. Well, the door could do with a licky paint. Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Well, just settling in, folks. That's the firewood that I brought in, plus what's sitting in the fire at the moment. We'll put that on shortly. There is some wood left behind, so that should keep us going a little bit longer. So that's semi-decent. So I've got some noodleage and a cup of tea. That's me sorted the now. That's just for starters though. I've got a main meal for later on, and I've got a little hip flask of whiskey as well. If you watched my last Bothy video, you may remember when I broke my Yuko candle lantern. So I've got a new glass chimney for it, so that's in, that's ready to go. But what I did buy as well, as I think I mentioned, Paul Messner had a little paraffin insert rather than a candle. So I bought one. It's Forest Fundamentals. So it's got a wick, I'll unscrew that. That should now be soaked in paraffin, so the little wick there should be about 2mm, and that's filled up with citronella, which I don't really need this time of year. But basically you open that up, watch I don't drop the glass bit again, and the little insert just goes in where the candle would have went, like so. They recommend you keep the spring in, I don't know why. And then I'll just, hopefully that'll catch. Here's the catch button. There we go. So that's that in place where the candle would normally go. That just slots back in here. I'll keep that upright because I've took the lid off. Right, moment of truth, we'll light this. Lighter, lighter, lighter. In my pocket, keeping it warm. Actually really cold in here. Hopefully this will work. It's been... That lit really quick, didn't it? Don't know if I'd have this in my tent. It'd be a bit poisonous, I think. If you've got it on the vestibule, that should be fine. There we go. That's quite natural, that. I like that. Now just somewhere to hang it. That's it on the ceiling now. I'll pan up. There we go. Turn the light off. See how light it is. It's not too bad. I've got a candle in the window as well, right enough. But aye, I like that. It's nearly 5:30. I'm going to light the fire. It's maybe a little bit early and it'll go out too soon, but I'm cold and I think the dog will enjoy it as well. And there she is, standing in front of the camera. Luna, come here, pal. We'll get the fire on. We'll get the fire on. Say it, Robin, you know you want to. Bothy TV, say it, say it. Don't say Robin, don't be a fanny. It's an old cliche. Think of something original. Come on, you can think of something better than Bothy TV. Well folks, there's the Bothy TV, one channel, and it's on. That's me and Luna fed and watered now. And we're both pretty relaxed. In fact, she's just sprawled out in front of the fire there. I put out my little foam sheet just to take her off the cold floor, and she seems happy now. She's got a little dressing gown on, keep her warm, so she's happy and I'm happy. But when I arrived here earlier on, I was a wee bit down. I just thought, oh really? It's like, you can maybe relate to this, but when you walk into a bothy and there's nobody else there, it's a bit dank. It's a bit dingy, lifeless, but then you put your fire on, you get candles lit, some string lights if you've got them, and it just brings a bothy to life, and it just makes it feel so much more homely, and that, it kind of relaxes me and I start enjoying it. But aye, I'm good. Much better now. My morale's lifted, I'm fed, I'm watered, and as soon as I took that rucksack off, my groin stopped hurting, so I think it must have just been the weight of the pack with the extra wood. And I have to carry in, obviously, dog food for her, which weighs, I'm bringing about 500 grams of dog food for the dog. That's for tonight and tomorrow morning, and she'll get fed when we go home. I've got some treats just to keep her ticking over. Her wee dressing gown, and a ball as well. So, aye, that weight soon adds up and it takes up extra room in your pack. So, she's worth it though. I love having her. It would be a wee bit lonely sitting here on my own, but she's great company then. She'll snuggle in. She's like a wee hot water bottle. But aye, this is us. Till about 10 o'clock, and I think I'm going to crack open my Ardbeg whisky. Slangevar folks, Slangevar. I just took Luna out for a pee, and I was outside doing some filming, and then I thought I could just see the Aurora in the distance. So I turned the head torch off and I realised what it was. Luna's got a green flashy collar for when she goes outside so I can see her. That just got caught in my eye and I was blinking and seeing that. So No, it's too cloudy for an Aurora, unfortunately, which is a pity, because that would have been good to see. Hey, baby. Yes, it was your collar. It was just your collar. What is it? Don't know if you can see her there. Just her silhouette there. Say hello to the camera, Luna. Look. Who's that? Who's that? Say hello to the viewers. Say hello. Here's a kiss. Kisses. Thank you. I've got the Bothy Visitors book here, and you'll see here, it's the 20th of December 2025. I've just done my little spiel here with my wee sticker. But the person before me is this Jessica from Amsterdam, and if I turn the page, she was here on Saturday the 13th of September 2025. So that's talking 3 months, just over, between her visit and mine. Now, I know not everybody signs the book, but that's a good indication to how busy this place is. And then if we scroll on, go back a few pages, it jumps from September to July, and then we've got a few entries in July and June. If I turn the page, we've got another, let's say 16, I'm sure that's maybe, oh no, yeah, I'm sure that's probably June. That's May, April. And then for the April one, I don't know if you can see that, it's quite faint, but that is the 29th to the 31st of January 2025. So there's definitely big gaps in the book in places. So it is one of these bothies that isn't frequented nearly as much as a lot of the other ones. Now, I think my video could be the first one on YouTube of this bothy, so I couldn't find any. I had a search, I went in incognito, still couldn't find it, so this might be the very first time. And what I'll do a good tour of the bothy tomorrow when I've got proper daylight. Well, my Yuko lantern conversion is still going strong 3.5 hours later. Nifty little device that, well happy. Well guys, we're going to hit the hay. It's about 10 o'clock now, so we're just going to go to sleep. There's plenty of wood left, but I don't want to be greedy. I want to leave some for the next people who are going to visit. So I put a couple of small bits on just to let it peter out in the next half hour, 10 hour. And I'll see you guys in the morning for the Bothy tour. Night folks. Good morning, wake up and smell the Bothy. It's just gone 8 o'clock. We're not long up. Just waiting for it to get light. Got a wee cup of tea here on the go. Get my porridge as well. But yeah, no drama. No unexpected visitors or anything like that. No hauntings. Just a good night's sleep. Dog was fine. She was well settled. This morning she was barking away, but I think it was the stove bubbling up. She could hear that and wondered what it was. Well, it's a bit damp and miserable this morning. Never mind, it's just to walk out anyway. But before we do that, let's go inside and I'll take you on a tour. We'll start with the right-hand room first. This is probably the less attractive room with the stone floor. Has got the fireplace there though. Got a table for cooking on with some miscellaneous items. Old biscuit tins. Through the back there we've got the study. See there's a bed. Not the greatest room ever. Nice. Right. Now the loft space is open in this Bothy. Let's have a look. You know what, be tackling these steps when you're drunk. It'd be rare to see the Bothy really busy that you have to use up here. Fireplace is blocked up. Oh, I'll put that in the Bothy report. Through to the back room. Not much to show really. I'll close these doors. You stay there, Luna. Good girl. I'm coming down. Bit too steep for you. Last but not least, I'll go through to the room that we stayed in last night. This is the best room. Wooden flooring, wooden cladded wall, a nice open fireplace. We got a good heat from that last night. A couple of chairs. There's 3 beds in here. So I was going to sleep in that one last night, but instead I brought this one down in front of us, pulled it out in front of the fire. But there's also a bed here behind, 2 there. So you've got 3 in total in here. There was 1 through the back, and then this is a wee table here that I cooked on, and then just miscellaneous items I had on here. The bleak view out the window.
Courting is a pleasure between my love and I. It was down in yon green valley I would meet her by and by. It was down in yon green valley where the river runs so free. Oh, Molly, lovely Molly, I fear you forsaken me. Went to the church last Sunday, my true love passed me by. I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye. Well, I knew her mind was changing till
There's Luna going through. Whoa. That river crossing back there was easy, by the way. I don't know why I made such a meal of it last night. I think I was just desperate to keep my shoes dry and I made a bit of a meal of it. It'd be a different story in spate, but I just tiptoed over it and my feet are bone dry. But yeah, that was a braw Bothy night. I was thinking to myself though, would I drive all the way up here again for just one Bothy night? Probably not, it's a long way to go. But that got me thinking why the Croft House Bothy is Scotland's least frequented Bothy. And I can think of a few reasons, and the first one being it's a long drive from where the bulk of Scotland's population is, down in the central belt. It took me like 5 hours to get up here. There's no Corbetts or even any Munros around here, so you haven't got the bagging advantage. And the wind farm construction, that took a lot of gloss off the approach. What would have been a wild place maybe a few years ago. But then this is probably only a few years old anyway. So aye, it must just be the Lachy Mountains, the long drive. There's no Cape Raft trails that come through here or anything like that. So the Bothy is going to be your sort of your main destination. But aye, at least now there's a wee YouTube video of it. But if you watched this far, thank you very much folks, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.